We'll go straight to questions.
Buzz, this year with last year when your team struggled hitting from outside, do you feel like they were? Let me start over. Do you feel like this year's team is a little bit better in knowing when they aren't hitting from outside to work it inside, to use the glass than maybe last year's team? They're able to make that switch quicker?
Maybe a little bit. I don't think we're near as offensive sensitive as we were a year ago at this time. Some of that is probably what you said. I don't know that we win this game a year ago at this time. And in truth, I don't know that a year ago at this time that we win at SMU after a big win at Ohio State. I think a lot of what we're going through, all of it is good. We're in uncharted territory relative to this group. And so the maturity that's required to go where we're going, we've never had that level of maturity. And we'll make shots, just like I mentioned to you that we would make free throws. But if we don't have only 5 turnovers, then we don't win that game. We offensive rebounded 57% of our misses. Well, if you turn it over, that means you don't shoot it. We didn't make a very high percentage of our shots, but we were phenomenal on the glass. And if you don't turn it over, you do get a shot. We'll make more shots. But even though we didn't, great job on the offensive glass, and a lot of that led to a high free throw rate as well. And then on the other side, coming into tonight's game, they were shooting 43% of their shots from 3. And you know this from covering us. If they're shooting 43% of their shots from 3 prior to playing us, then they're going to shoot over 50% of their shots from 3. And so now the ball is going to be ricocheting all over the place. And tonight we defensive rebounded 81% of the shots they missed. And so all of that is correlated, and all of that was required to win. But I think the overarching theme is that what we're trying to do is difficult, and it requires the maturity of not just during a game, but all of the things that lead up to a game in order to be our best. And I don't think that that's exclusive to the players. That applies to everyone in the organization, with me at the front of that. And I think it's human nature after travel on Thursday and Friday and travel on Monday and Tuesday. Oh man, we got a lot coming. We're about to play 4 games in the next 9 days. Yeah, no, we need to be really good on Wednesday and really good on Thursday so that we have a chance to be really good today.
And through that kind of, I think it was like a 14-3 or 4 run there at the beginning of the second half, it was a little bit of time that Manny got a little bit of run. How much have you seen him embracing his role, and how much do you feel like he was a little bit of a spark during that time?
He's been so good. He and I met 13 days ago, and the last 13 days have been his best 13 days here. His maturity in accepting that, him being able to help us in the possessions that he's in, being engaged in the game when he's not in the game, so that when he does go in the game, he can play right away. I think you were there. It seems like an eternity ago. We sub him in Denton. He's still tucking his shirt in when they're taking the ball out of bounds. They get a back door and score. We go down the next possession. He gets fouled and shoots 2 bricks at the free throw line because he wasn't ready. He wasn't engaged. And that was what led to the conversation. And he's been so good. And I don't know exactly. Jace had his best game at SMU. H is playing out of his mind. I don't think he's ever had 4 offensive rebounds. I think going into tonight's game, he got more rebounds tonight than he did the first 3 games combined. Eli is a basket as soon as you put him in. Bip is playing meaningful possessions because we need to continue to grow him. Wildens has played more minutes the last 2 games than he did the first 2 games. It is only the end of the second week, and I know we've been through a lot, and we got a lot coming before we even get to the end of the month. But the value in all of those guys, not just Mo, but all of those guys, I think are going to be critical to the rest of the season. And I think the more intensity, the more accountability, the more, I don't know if pressure is the right word, but the more they feel the importance of the value of every possession in practice, I think it'll lead to them understanding that as a habit in the game. And Mo's been really good with that.
Coach, off to a 4-0 start for just the second time in your tenure. What does that say about this particular group, and how much of an accomplishment is it for this team?
Yeah, thanks for being nice. We didn't handle 4-0 this time last year very well. And so we've as a staff studied how we want to handle. We played last Friday a year ago this week before going to Myrtle Beach. And I think I was foolish in some of the way that we utilized our time. So we're going to try to handle our time a little different. It's a hard, I don't know that there's evidence to prove one way or another. I think it has to do with the team that you're coaching. But in a multi-team event like this, everybody's going to play 3 games in 4 days. And so how you handle the week leading up to that is really important. And most teams play a guaranteed game on the backside of that. Obviously, we're not doing that. We're going to come home at some point on Sunday and then leave again sometime on Tuesday. So we've tried to study how we want to handle the next, I guess it'll be 13 days. And it'll be different than what we've done the previous 2 times we started 4-0. But this 4-0, I think, is a little different from strength of schedule. And I think what's upcoming in the next 4 games is probably a little different in strength of schedule, too, than the previous 2 years. 8 games in a month with 6 of them not being at home is an atypical Power 5 schedule.
What did you see from your defense tonight that tells you they are capable of perhaps ramping it up even more when you leave this building again?
I think we were 17th in the country. I know the sample size is small. I think we were 17th in the country in numbers that mattered defensively entering tonight's game. I would say we're not that after tonight's game. We're doing a good job in a lot of categories, and I think there's some versatility in how we're playing in the full court and the half court with our roster and ball screen coverage specifically. I think the key for our team is, can we finish the possession with the defensive rebound? So who helps us do that regardless of what we're doing in the full court, the half court, or in ball screen coverage? And we have improved dramatically in that regard. And that, I think, is going to be maybe the Achilles heel of our defense. Can we finish possessions with rebounds?
How many consecutive games do you think you can hold a team to 66 points? Because it's been 3 so far in a row.
Yeah, and I think I know I'm too number centric, but SMU was way faster than Oral Roberts. And Oral Roberts statistically was faster than any team that we have played since we've been here other than SMU. And tonight, we held SMU dramatically to a lower possession game. And we did the same tonight, even more dramatic. And I think some of that, and you've heard me say it, I think some of that is we're controlling the tempo because of the rim pressure on the offensive glass, because we're putting so much pressure. If you don't block out, we're probably going to get it. That helps our transition defense. And then we've spent an inordinate amount of time since practice started on what we call the gray area. Like, Not the first 6 seconds of transition, not that. We've spent a lot of time on that, but kind of the next 6 seconds. We need to get our defense set. When we can get our defense set, now it becomes more predictable what the opponent's going to do. And that was a lot of prep for this game and for SMU, and I think some of that helps the time of possession, but it also helps the possession count.
Heard you talk about Henry the last couple nights, another double-double.
It's hard to take off the floor. And somebody in this group asked me at some point, maybe it was the Texas A&M media day, like, describe how their games have changed. And that's so hard for me because I'm around them every day. I think his game is eerily similar. I think the maturity in how he's competing is much, much more mature than it's ever been, and he's never been immature. If you only miss a shot and you're averaging a double-double playing the teams that we've played, and we've played half of them on the road and half of them at home, and it's been, especially when he makes free throws, that really helps our team.
All right, anything else? All right, that's a wrap.
Thank you.